What is up, you guys? This is MiniSuperHeroes Today, and continuing on with my MCU countdown to Avengers Endgame, I'm going week by week through every MCU movie in chronological order of release, showing you a custom and regular minifigure showcase from every MCU movie in order. And we finally got to a big movie, Thor Ragnarok. Now guys, this is one of my favorite Marvel movies. It's in my top 5 or 6 movies, and man, it is just so awesome to be here because we are just a few weeks away from Endgame at this point, and it's just unreal. But in any case, there are a lot of figures here that we're going to get through today. If you're an avid watcher of my videos, you'll notice that a lot of these figures have shown up in some past videos in their own individual tutorials, but if you're newer to my channel, you'll be able to see these for the first time. Some new additions include a new version of Loki, just a minor update, some minor updates to the Grandmaster, Hela's a new one for this video, so there's definitely some new stuff going on here, and I'm excited to share with you guys. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this custom showcase from Thor Ragnarok. So up first, we've got the mighty god of thunder, Thor. Now, I really love this custom, and I'm really impartial to it because I think that it's maybe one of my favorite purist customs in this showcase. So the torso, legs, arms, head, all of that are from the Thor Ragnarok version of Thor from the bigger of the two sets, which had like the Grandmaster's ship and all that stuff. But the additions that I made is, of course, I added his hammer, I added his long blonde hair from previous Avengers movies, and then I added one of these drape pieces on his neck. I added a 1x1 clip piece, a black lightsaber handle, and then these 2 fin pieces, because from the front, it looks like he's defeated Surtur, and he's wearing his skull on his back. And, I mean, this could even, double as the chain that he had wrapped around. It's just really cool, and I love the way that this looks. So, that's the first Thor, and we've got a few more versions of Thor to take a look at. Next up, we've got Gladiator Thor, and man, this figure's awesome. I didn't make any updates from the official one, but he's got some great leg torso printing here, some printing on the side of the arm, a custom, like cut-up cape like that, and then his sword holder on the back. So, once again, no updates from the main figure from the film, but when LEGO does a figure like this that just absolutely knocks it out of the park, I almost feel like it's a disservice to upgrade it, so I left this one as is. Our next Thor custom is from his visit to Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum. So, as you can see here, I used the Thor Ragnarok head, I used the regular blonde Thor hair, then I used the legs and torso from Leonard from The Big Bang Theory. And while I know Thor didn't have a recycle shirt on, he did have a green shirt underneath, he had a, brown jacket on top of that, and then he also had jeans on. So while it's not 100% perfect, I think it's pretty darn close. But if you guys have any suggestions, as always, drop some comments below and let me know what you would change if you were going to do this yourself. So, the other thing I added, of course, is this umbrella piece, because as you know, his hammer Mjolnir is disguised while it's on Earth. So that's this version of Thor. And now the last figure we're going to look at is Infinity War Thor, because in the post-credit scene, we see Thanos' ship come up on what's left of Asgard, and Thor's got a new suit on that looks just like his Infinity War suit. So, just a little side thing. Next up, we've got the lovable goofball Bruce Banner. Now, the banner that came with the Infinity War sets, I actually didn't hate, but I made some minor upgrades for the sake of this showcase. So, I used some gray pants below, just because I thought that would be a little better look, and plus he complains about it because he's wearing Tony Stark's pants and complains about how tight those pants are, so wanted to make sure I changed those. I used the same torso. Now, in the movie, he does have a Duran Duran t-shirt on, but there's no way to get that as a purist custom piece, so had to go with what we already had. I used the same head, and then I used the black Superman hair just for a little variation. Now, I will say Doctor Strange is coming up later in this showcase, and I do like the gray hair that they gave him for Infinity War, so that may be a better choice, honestly, but I didn't want to use too much of the same piece, so I will always want to give you guys options, and that's exactly what I did here. Next up, we've got Doctor Strange, and the version of Doctor Strange I'm showing you here is pretty similar to what I've used for all of my other Doctor Stranges, but I gave him yellow Lego hands, which are probably the easiest hands ever to come by when it comes to Lego figures, because for whatever reason, he had yellow gloves in this movie. Now, in the comics, he had yellow gloves, but for this one scene, for whatever reason, they wanted to give them to him here. So it's the Doctor Strange body with some new arms, actually, from the sailor from the Lego collectible mini minifigure series with yellow hands for those gloves, the Olympic medalist medal around his neck, the Doctor Strange head and hair, and then the cape for the Doctor Strange movie version of Doctor Strange. Man, how many times can I say Doctor Strange in one pass? Well, I guess we'll never know. Next up, we've got Loki from the Sanctum Sanctorum visit, and I just gave him the black Lex Luthor suit, I gave him the Loki head from Ragnarok, and then I gave him the long hair from Tasu Leech from Star Wars The Force Awakens. I really like that long braided look, and I love the way that it sits on the shoulders, and I think it's a really accurate look for Loki from Thor Ragnarok. So, that's a pretty fun custom. Next up, we've got Ragnarok Loki, and man, I love this figure. It's such a great looking figure, and it's actually about half and half. It's half regular figure, half custom, so we'll start breaking it down for you now. That's as easy as it gets. So, the head, torso are from the regular Loki from Ragnarok. But see how this is like so bunched up at his neck here between the head and the torso? This is what I hate about these new spongy capes, because when you put him up to like the Mandarin who has the old thin papery cape, I just love how, thin that cape is, and this is just so thick. So I know it's personal preference, and most of you guys probably don't care, but I'm in the trenches with Lego stuff all the time making these customs, and I don't know, I just miss the old thin capes. But anyways, the custom pieces are from the same Loki that I just showed you, the Tasu Leech hair up top, and then the legs are from the Lego Batman movie accessory pack from one of the cops, and I just used the eraser method to take off a little bit of printing here so that Loki has some black boots to go with the rest of his suit. Now next up we've got Odin, who's never actually been made as a Lego figure, so this is 100% purist custom. So the arms, torso, and legs are all from Pong Krell from the Star Wars series. I just think that it's really good for, a relaxed Odin eating grapes. Well, technically it was Loki, but you know what I'm saying. Then I used Santa's beard, Doc Brown's hair, and I used this head from Lego Ninjago. I don't remember the character's name, guys. Sorry, I'm sure somebody will drop it in the comments below. Because if you look, Odin's eye patch in the films are on this side of his head, and there's a character from Overwatch called Reinhardt, and he looks really good, and he's got, the tan flesh color, but the problem with that is the eye patch is on this side. So in my opinion, I would rather the eye patch be on the right side and have a different skin color than have the correct tan skin color, but also have the eye patch on the wrong side. So that's personal preference, but if you want to get the Reinhardt head, you can do that too. So because I used this yellow head, I had to put some yellow hands on there, and that was that. So next up, we've got another surprise figure, and this is Odin from the cliff in Norway. Now, I really like the way this turned out, because, Odin, for whatever reason, was wearing, like, a regular tux suit or whatever. Guess it wasn't a tux, it was just a sports suit. But anyways, I used the body and legs from Aldrich Killian with all of the pieces from Odin that I just explained. This head from Ninjago, Doc Brown's hair, Santa's beard. And if you look in the movie, he actually had a lighter colored shirt on, but when we're using the purist method, sometimes we've just got to make little tiny adjustments. But not as big of adjustments as having the eye patch on the wrong side of the eye. To me, that's unforgivable. Man, I take this a little too serious sometimes, don't you think? Alright, so next up we've got Valkyrie, who made her MCU debut in Thor Ragnarok. Man, do I hope she shows up in Endgame. But anyways, everything's exactly the same on this figure, except for the legs, which are from the Lego Batman movie accessory pack, and they're the same legs that I used on Loki just a few moments ago, so if you want to do this, and you want to have this full collection, you'll need multiple legs. Luckily I do, but, well, I guess I only have 2 legs in real life, but you know what I meant. So speaking of Valkyrie, I've got a surprise for you. Even though I've already done this figure, it wasn't in the beginning of the showcase. But anyways, this is Valkyrie from the final battle in Asgard, where she wears her Valkyrie suit. And I really love the way that this custom turned out. It's actually one of my favorites. I know I say it's one of my favorites about a lot of my customs, but I like what I do. So anyways, this torso and leg pair are from Star Wars. I believe from the Old Republic, but I honestly don't remember where I got these from. I've got so many figures in my collection, guys, it is hard to remember where everything came from, so I'm going to depend on one of my amazing subscribers to drop it in the comments below. But anyways, I used that pair from Star Wars, I used the cape and then the head from Valkyrie from Thor Ragnarok that we just saw. I threw some light gray arms on there and then some hands to match the head, and then I used Wonder Woman's hair because you'll remember in this scene, Valkyrie let her hair down. Actually, quite literally. So, that's this version. Next up, we have one of my favorite MCU villains, and that is Hela. I absolutely love what they did with this character in the film, and it doesn't hurt that Cate Blanchett is easy on the eyes. But anyways, my version of Hela only uses the hair, face, and torso from the official figure and has some custom liberties taking place elsewhere. So the legs are from Lloyd from the Lego Ninjago movie, because I really like the way that these green, I guess, bandages around his legs accent the torso for Hela. I just really like that. And then my favorite part is on the arms here. These are from the Tron set. Shout out to Brick Bros UK who designed that set. But anyways, I really love that the top of the arms here are shown, some shoulder skin, and then it matches the shoulder skin shown here. So one of the unique things about Hela's costume is that her shoulders are bare like that, and I really love the way that those line up. I mean, of course, it's not 100% perfect, but man, using the purist method, that's one of the best things I've ever seen. So that's the version of Hela here, and I'm going to show you one more version coming up. Now, the next version of Hela is Hela with her helmet on. Man, that's a lot of H's. But anyways, everything from the neck down is exactly the same. I just added the cape that she came with in the movie set. I flipped the head around because when you flip the head around, you can see that they gave her this black darkness around her eyes that really fills in the holes of the helmet once you put that helmet on. So I really love that. And for those of you guys that don't have this set, the helmet is actually like a rubbery material that has some give and bend to it. So I just wanted to show you guys that because I don't want to assume that everybody has all of the figures here. So I want this to be a history lesson too. You know, if somebody comes like 10 years from now and is like, oh, I wonder what the Hela figure from Thor Ragnarok was like. Well, I guess I just answered that for you. And I'm pulling out all the surprises in this video because now we've got Hogun, who is one of the Warriors 3 that takes on Hela in that epic battle at Asgard. But before I start breaking down this figure, I want to point out something super weird. Like, I've thought this ever since I saw the movie the first time. I always thought it was so weird when she's talking to him, and he's, like, trying to talk her down. Like, how he talks is so weird. He's like, whoever you are. It's like, he's obviously saying whoever you are, but, like, why is he talking like that? It just has always baffled me. Whoever you are, wherever you come from. It's just like, it's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But anyways, breaking down this figure, I used basically the legs, torso, and face from Tasu Leech from Star Wars The Force Awakens. I gave him this little, I don't know what the actual word for this is. You guys can let me know in the comments, but it's like the spike ball on a chain. I used a Batman cape, and then I used this hair from the Hobbit sets because I really like that long hair. So, that is Hogun. Next up, we've got Scourge, and this is a really simple figure. The legs and torso are from Ash from the Lego Ninjago accessory pack available at the Lego stores. Maybe not anymore, even as of this video, but, well, that's where you could get it. It's got some dark red arms with some black hands, a battle axe from the old Viking sets, this shoulder piece from Stone Clay from the Lego Nexo Knight series, and then the head from General Zod from the Man of Steel sets. So it's a really simple figure, and I'm really surprised we actually didn't get Scourge. I was going to call him Sturge. I'm surprised we didn't get Scourge as an actual figure with the Ragnarok sets. He was a pretty important part of the movie, and I guess I'm just shocked. But speaking of figures I'm shocked we didn't get as actual figures, well, we'll see who's up next. Next up, we've got Heimdall, and like I just alluded to, I cannot believe that he didn't get made as a Lego figure. So to build this, I used the head from Baron Mordo from the Doctor Strange set from a few years back, the hair from Tasu Leech from Star Wars The Force Awakens. Man, he got around in this video. I used a dark brown cape, of course the paper thin cape, because I've already told you guys how much I love that. And then I used the torso and legs from Taserface from Guardians Volume 2 with this awesome sword to represent the Bifrost sword. So I really like Heimdall. I'm sad that he died in Infinity War, but as it goes, man, it's kind of crazy. People have to die in the MCU, and sadly, Heimdall was one of them. So next up, we've got the Grandmaster, and before I do this, I have a cool story. I actually met Jeff Goldblum a few months ago. He plays a jazz show in Hollywood, and I was out there for work, and I just decided to go, and he has this jazz band that, like, plays awesome jazz music, and then he like came out and did a meet and greet, so I got to meet him. And when I travel, I always take my Lego figures with me for Instagram photos, and I had my Grandmaster, and I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna give it to him. So I gave him my Lego Grandmaster. I had to order another one for this video, actually, but yeah, so I gave it to him, and he literally had no idea that he existed as a Lego figure. So I hope you guys like those photos, and we'll go ahead and break down this figure. So I used the torso, this arm, and the head from the Grandmaster from, you know, the actual Ragnarok sets. I used the hair from Doctor Who, because I thought that looked good. I used the arm from the genie from Aladdin from the Lego Disney Collectible Minifigure Series 1. We're getting Series 2 soon. And then the legs are from Loki from the 2012 Avengers set. So, pretty awesome figure. I absolutely love the Grandmaster. I hope he comes back in a future film, and it was super cool to meet Jeff Goldblum and give him the Lego version of himself. Next up, we've got one of the Asgardian guards, and it's not a particularly, like, unbelievable figure as far as, like, importance in the movie goes, but I really like the detail that they put into this for such a throwaway figure. It's a lot better than the firefighter from the upcoming Spider-Man Far From Home sets, but anyways, I didn't make any updates. I just wanted to show it as part of the collection. So I've got one more figure like this, and then we've got some more customs, and we'll bring this video to a close. Next up, we've got one of those zombie soldier figures. I guess this was supposed to be one of the, like, zombies that fights on the bridge at the end of Ragnarok, but it's a pretty bland figure. It doesn't really represent anything, but it came with the Ragnarok sets, and for some god unknown reason, we actually got 2 of these in one set. So I wanted to include it anyways because, you know, it's part of the deal. So that's this figure. Alright guys, next up we've got Surtur, and while he's not like full size like he is in the film, he's actually minifigure scale. I'm so happy with the way that this turned out. Of course I wish that it were giant, but when we're talking the purist method, that's literally impossible. So, all of the characters used here are the shoulder piece, head, and the flame top on top of that head are from Flama from the Lego Nexo Knights series. Then the sword is come in many, many places, and the body is from one of the demons from the 2016 Ghostbusters set. Alright, next up we've got some fan favorites. So the legs are from the barista from the Lego Collectible Minifigure series. The belt is from Catman from the Lego Batman movie Collectible Minifigure series. The torso is from one of the rock guys from the Lego Nexo Knights series. I gave him this cool, like, shoulder thing here, the same one Thor has, but in gray. I ordered that off Bricklink, so I honestly don't remember where that piece came from exactly. Yeah, sorry, tongue twisted there. Then the head is from Stone Clay from Nexo Knights, and the hair I ordered from Bricklink too, so I'm not sure where that's from. So if you know where the neck piece or the hair is from, drop a comment below. As for Meek, the head is from the Asgardian guard that I showed you guys earlier, and then I used this body from one of the bots from Nexo Knights. I put some knives in his hand, and then I put a 1x1 and then a cheese slope with magenta and purple there, as you can see, because I thought that that kind of looked like his jelly bean body as best as we can get using the purist method. So that's Korg and Meek. Alright guys, so I know that this isn't a purist custom, but I did want to show this off because I love this custom. I got this off eBay, oh my gosh, probably over a year ago at this point, and this is just a custom figure. Somebody took a Hulk body, and they put this sculpting and molding over it. They put this, like, little leather patch all around him, and they just did such a great job making this Korg. They painted the face on, and I think that it really does look like a real Lego Big Fig. So, again, this is a custom, obviously not a purist piece, but I thought it turned out really well, and it's one of my favorite figures in my collection, so I wanted to go ahead and show it to you guys, because there's probably not a better time to show this than in a Thor Ragnarok showcase. So, here it is. 2 more figures to go, guys, and then we're going to wrap up. Alright, my dudes and dudettes, we've got the Gladiator Hulk here, which I didn't make any updates to because, as I've said in past videos, it's really hard to update these big figs, but I always like this big blue thing on his arm, the sleeve, and then the printing. They just did such a great job with this Hulk, and big thumbs up from me. And last but certainly not least is this regular Hulk, because you'll remember from the final battle, the bridge battle that is, he's not wearing his gladiator gear anymore, so I just used the Age of Ultron Hulk, because even though he has different colored pants from the final battle, I figured this is about as close as we could get. Alright guys, well what a fun showcase this was. Like I said, Thor Ragnarok is among my favorite Marvel movies, and this has just been such a treat to do this tutorial showcase. So, let me know in the comments below which figures of these are your favorite, and if you plan on building any of them, you know, I'd love to know that too. So, drop some comments below, Let me know who you're excited to see next week for Black Panther, and we're just 1 week closer to Avengers Endgame. So drop some comments below, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you next week for Black Panther. So until next time, build on. If you liked what you saw and you liked what you heard, feel free to click that subscribe button for more LEGO content coming in the near future. So, thanks for tuning in to today's video, and until next time, build on.